Hang on, people. I'm going to do Crazy Cop Story 2 here because I just did one. This time I got the horses here, so it'll look like a different video. Even though I'm wearing... Well, I can't even see if I'm in here. I see my hands. Alright, so, what was this Crazy Cop story? Hell, I forgot. Damn little gnats. What the hell was I going to do with that other story? I just said it in the other video. Cop with the hookers. Oh, well, they paid off the guy who got shot. So, in this little episode of Crazy Cop Stories, in larger agencies, now I've never seen a captain do this, but I've heard it from several people. I believe it to be true, and I mean, it makes sense. So it passed a reasonable test. Somebody may be able to find out if there's a policy. I've never seen a policy on this written out. So in your larger agencies where you have a lot of cops and a lot of liberalism and a lot of money and a lot, budgets in the millions, most law enforcement agencies will usually have one or two people, or sometimes they'll just say captains and above. And I think in this agency, it was a captain or above. And I want to say this was San Jose. Maybe it was San Francisco, but I think it was San Jose. So in your larger agencies, they give the power of payoff to the cops. So if a cop comes up on scene and we know the cop's messed up and we know we're probably going to get sued and we know there's a lawsuit coming, who's ever got the power to do this is given a checkbook by the county or city and saying, hey, you can write up to, and I think it's normally up to $5 grand. Anything over $5 grand has to get the approval of someone else, city manager, I don't know, it goes up. But up to $5 grand, the agency can cut you a check right on the spot if you sign this release saying you're going to accept this check for release of all liability to the city for any wrongdoings, etc. And if somebody in one of those agencies can get me a copy of that, that'd be cool. Because then I'll talk about it, I'll put a copy, if I can get a copy of a policy, and a copy of the letter that they have the crook sign. Because there's a lot of agencies that do this. So, when they give this power to people, it basically saves the county or city huge amounts of money in litigation, hiring lawyers, answering, filings, going to court. Now, $5,000 easy. On one of my Crazy Cop stories, I told they paid everybody $5,000 because I had to follow a cop in that went in the house because he said he saw a gun and then, or it looked like the guy who weren't supposed to go in. They end up paying everybody $5,000 in there. They just cut him a check. And I thought it was BS. I didn't want him to, but it's not my choice because I don't think we did anything wrong. I think we're right. One guy did something wrong. The rest of us didn't, but they were like, you know what? One guy's wrong. We're going to end up paying. We're paying him $5 grand. You happen to be there, so your name's going to be on this incident. So, whatever. So, in this case, so remember, if you get in trouble in a big city, if you can say, hey, somebody don't give me a couple grand right now, I'm suing. They have the ability to call somebody, come out there and talk to you, and if they think the suit is probably going to be legitimate, they will cut you a check. Now, obviously, they don't want this common knowledge, so this is one of those secret backdoor government policies that they want to keep quiet. As a taxpayer, I'd like to know how many times an agency is giving out checks for wrongdoings. That's how you hold government accountable. That's how there's checks and balances. You don't do this on a sly and on a down low to where nobody knows. But it's done that way in a lot of large counties. It's getting cloudy. Every time I can't see. So, in this incident, and again, it's either San Jose or San Francisco, they're chasing a guy, and a guy either pulls a gun or had a knife or something. A cop ends up shooting at the guy, and he misses. And he hits some homeless dude in the alley, I think in the leg or in the knee. So the homeless dude goes down, they end up taking a homeless guy to the hospital. Well, the captain shows up, and he talks to a couple officers and goes, hey man, are we in trouble here, or are we on good ground, or whatever? And my buddy who gave me this story he goes, I told him, he goes, dude, we're screwed. He goes, this guy didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't there. He got shot. He was collateral damage. He shouldn't have been shot. And he goes, man, you think he'll take $5 grand? He goes, I talked to him and asked him if he'd be willing to take a payment for this, and he said no. All he wants is a new radio. And the captain goes, what? He goes, yeah, he wants this new special radio. So the captain goes in and talks to this dude laid up with a bullet in his leg, which I think could probably be challenged later, that he was on meds, he was in pain, he was under duress, and therefore anything he signed could be thrown out. But this guy wouldn't know how to challenge that because he was a homeless dude and he's obviously crazy if he could get $5 grand and instead he wanted a radio. I mean, to me, not only is that wrong for the taxpayers not to know this is going on, but it's wrong to take advantage of a dude who obviously was shot and probably going to have long-term damage or some sort of issues, and you're paying him off with a radio and making him sign a release. To me, that's kind of, I don't know, like chicken shit. But I wasn't there, wasn't my deal. But that's what government does. If government can take advantage of you because you're stupid, government will always take advantage of the stupid. That's why they want stupid public. That's why they want uninformed. That's why they want the media on their side to only say their side. That's why they want illegals who are uneducated and can't speak English, and the voting public will be people that weren't raised here and don't understand the Constitution and what this country went through and weren't ever a vet and didn't ever serve this country. And they don't want educated public. No government does. They want dumbed down people that they can handle like dumb sheep. So the captain goes in there and talks to the dude and says, hey, I understand that you're willing to sign this release here if we get your radio. He goes, yeah, it's got to be this. And it's some big boom box radio with big speakers. So the captain boogies on down to freaking Best Buy, Walmart, Circuit City, wherever the hell he went to, bought the dude a radio, came back and go, will this radio do? Guy goes, yeah. He goes, okay, sign right here releasing the city of all liability. So this dude signed away all liability from getting shot for a stinking radio. If that's not a crazy cop story, I don't know what is. And you ain't ever going to hear the number of times that this goes on or how many people have done this. And is it ethical? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it immoral? Look, you know, I'm just passing on the information. Don't be coming here hating on me, calling me a jackboot because I didn't change the world. I didn't take on every case that I could have, should have, would have, and risk my career on every little case. The newer you are in a career, the less chance you have of winning when you fight. I was in my senior year. I was a senior investigator. I had the senior lieutenant. We were both the two senior investigators in the office when we went after the DA, and they both smeared us and made us look like we were just making this shit up for kicks and grins, and you know, we had no discipline, no nothing, and they turned it all around. So if you expect some road dog who's only been on an agency 1 or 2 years to stand up against the government, it just won't work out. He's going to be squashed and mashed and kicked out and smeared, and he won't have a chance. And people go, you know, what does this kid know? He's only been a cop for 2 years, and he was this troublemaker, and blah, blah. You know, hell, it didn't work for me and my lieutenant who were senior. I mean, we were the highest guys in the office, and nobody cared. They protected the government, and the big answer was, hey, if we say you guys are right, the DA will be found to be unethical and a liar, and we can't say that because that will open a bucket of worms, and every defense attorney from across the land will challenge every case that we've ever prosecuted. So that means we let everybody out of prison that this guy put in, or we spend billions of dollars going to court fighting and retrying every case only because you two want to turn in a DA because he's hiding evidence. And most people know I'm talking about DA Jeff Reisig, Yolo County, crookedest DA I know. But anyway, they couldn't, and that was their defense. That was their answer. If we allow you to be correct, it costs us billions, and it'll lock up the court system, and we'll have to let people out of jail. So what's easier? To try and fire me and my lieutenant and say that we're bad cops and we're making this up, even though, you know, we have nothing to gain from it, and support the DA? And that's exactly what they did. And you know what? The DA's still in there. He's still prosecuting cases, still probably hiding evidence, and he's been caught other cases hiding evidence, and you know what happens? Nothing. So don't be shooting a messenger here on this case because they paid some poor guy off that got shot with a radio. All right? We'll end that there.